It is an address that Victoria Police know all too well, and they are sick of visiting. They want to seize and sell off a home in downtown Victoria. Vic PD says the property is a known drug house. Officers have been there 180 times over the past 7 years. The latest visit came last Thursday when the emergency response team raided the home. And inside, police say they found several weapons. They claim they belong to a convicted drug dealer just out of prison who has 2 lifetime bans on possessing firearms. News reporter Stephen Andrew has the story.
Victoria Police show off evidence they say was seized last week during a raid on a home on Prior Street.
5 people were located inside the residence. The search of the location found a sawed-off 12-gauge shotgun, a replica MAC-10 submachine gun, a samurai sword, and some shotgun ammunition.
Victoria Police say the weapons were found when the emergency response team searched the house in a firearms investigation. One of the people arrested was this man, Brian Morrison, a convicted drug dealer. Victoria Police say his last conviction stemmed from this video posted on YouTube. Morrison is seen firing a machine gun and playing with a gun. Police say he was high and smoking crack cocaine. Investigators say when they searched his home after seeing the video, they found the gun and seized a half pound of cocaine.
However, although Mr. Morrison received a 3-year sentence, plus the other concurrent sentences for other firearms and drug offenses, he only spent 21 months in custody.
Victoria Police say experienced criminals know how to work the system, often delaying their trial for as long as possible, so that when they're eventually sentenced, they'll receive 2 days off their sentence for every day they spent in jail before being convicted. The time in jail before conviction is called dead time. This lawyer acknowledges trials are delayed, but he says it's not always the fault of the accused, and sentences are not automatically reduced.
And if the Crown prosecutor puts forth a compelling position as to why the accused should not be granted dead time, the judge will attentively listen to that and may grant no dead time at all.
Police are also concerned that Morrison was alleged to be in possession of guns when he already had 2 lifetime bans on possession of firearms when he was released from jail in August of last year.
I mean, there's a sense of frustration that what's the point of having a court order if you're not going to obey it? And if you disobey it, then there should be some consequences. And we're seeing time and time again where people are disobeying court orders, and it's not taken as seriously as we think it should be.
As for the home where police say they arrested Morrison, Vic PD says they are now working to give neighbors a reprieve from the constant criminal activity at the house. The department says officers have visited the home 180 times in the past 7 years. It is now working with the Civil Forfeiture Office to seize the home and sell it.
Stephen Andrew joins us now with more on the story. Stephen, it's the second time in 2 weeks, I think, that Victoria Police have come out appearing to be upset about criminals either being let out of prison early or violating court conditions. What's the department doing, taking on the justice system?
Well, Hudson, they admit they're treading a very fine line here, but they're taking the position that it's not really their responsibility, their sole responsibility to keep the city of Victoria safe. They say they're finding those drugs, they're finding those weapons, they're making the arrests, and then within a matter of days, sometimes with even hours, those individuals are back on the street, and again they arrest them allegedly with drugs and firearms in their possession. So they say for this system to work, really there needs to be a closer look at how these individuals are getting out of court so quickly.
All right, Stephen Andrew reporting. Stephen, thank you.
You're welcome.